This is a video of the 34 oaks that were cut out of Groton Wood, Sudbury, Suffolk. The following videos show various parts of the wood where oak trees have been cut down. One of the reasons given by Suffolk Wildlife Trust is to cut the trees down to enable more light to the understory. Also to safeguard the presence of such species as dormouse, nightingale, butterflies, and for hazel growth. Clearing and thinning could have been done without the sacrifice of these beautiful oaks. As you can see by this part of the video, there is plenty of light showing all along the ride, plenty of sunlight getting in, plenty of undergrowth beneath the oaks that were cut down. For whatever reason they cut these down was totally unnecessary. Also, you will see on the other side of the ride exactly the same situation with plenty of undergrowth and plenty of light in this area. For hazel as well. What's been done in this woodland beggars belief. Why cut down 100-year-old oaks? This is another part of the wood just a bit further up where the crossroads are, and you'll see exactly the same situation where oak trees have been cut down, and as you can see, the oaks have very small canopies. They're not very wide, so they wouldn't be cutting out a lot of light in this area as well, and it's just indefensible why these oaks along the ride here have been felled. All the oaks that I've just shown in this area could have been spared from felling, as it was no advantage at all to the wood, and it's another example of they look like they've been selected specifically for resale. Felling of the oaks along this ride will in no way enhance the wood to benefit the wildlife. Number 27 trunk here was standing on its own in an area that had been cleared about 3 or 4 years ago. So why this was cut out of that area when there is plenty of light in it beggars belief. Number 27 trunk was standing on its own in the middle of this area, which is to the left of the pond. So whatever reason they cut this down for, again, was selective for its trunk and its size. Again, this part of the video shows the oaks that have been cut out either side of the path that leads up to the pond and the cleared area. Now, these oaks again had plenty of light. I cannot see why they've been cut out. As you can see, there is again plenty of undergrowth all in the area, which would be great, as they say, for small animals to move around, etc., etc. Either side of the path, all the way to south of the pond and up to the area that's been cleared, is the same. It's all plenty of undergrowth, understory, whatever you want to call it. So I can't really see what excuse they could possibly have. And as you'll probably notice that most of the trees have already been numbered and selected. We now get to the cleared area, which is the main area that's been cleared within the wood. It's on the east side of the wood. There's always plenty of light coming into this area. I've walked through it many a time, and it's a real shame that they've cut these oaks out of here. If they want flowers to grow, you know, most woodland I've been in around here, there's plenty of flowers. There are big canopies in the woods. There's plenty of bluebells, etc. in all the woodland, and I've seen it the same in this wood. So I don't know why they should single out this particular area to clear it, except it's possibly for the quality of the oaks that they've cut out. Will the oaks in this wood ever get to be older than 100 years old? Not by the look of what I've seen here. We all know that the oaks play a critical role in the ecosystem. They keep forests healthy by maintaining a rich mix of plants, insects, birds, and other animals wherever they grow. And as a source of food and habitat, they are especially important for wildlife. I requested a copy of the management plan, but Suffolk Wildlife's policy is not to notify the general public, as they do not want any scrutiny from the general public. Suffolk Wildlife Trust operates a policy not to share documents such as management plans publicly. This is for not having members of the public comment on proposed management work. They are also more than likely keep secret the destination of the felled oaks, the abundance of limbs, branches, and some of the coppice for wood burners that has accompanied this destruction. It would be very interesting to find out the financial benefits they may or may not receive. That's also probably hidden in the management plan. What a dictatorial, authoritarian approach. Oak trees provide other important benefits. They help stabilize the soil where they grow, and studies have shown they improve the soil's fertility and protect groundwater quality too. As keystone species, a species that plays a critical role in the ecosystem, oaks keep forests healthy by maintaining a rich mix of plants, insects, birds, and other animals wherever they grow, and as a source of food and habitat, they're especially important for wildlife. Thinning. Oaks grow best in woods that are open where lots of sunshine can reach the forest floor. That means reducing the density of trees in your woods can protect the oaks you have and encourage new ones to grow. One way to reduce density is by thinning smaller, less desirable trees. You can do this on your own by removing shrubs and smaller trees. You can't see the pond from here, but the other side of the pond there was a great specimen of oak there that's also been cut. And there was no need for it because it was not blocking any light into the pond. It could have been left. There's a load of coppiced area behind the pond. They could have cleared a bit of that if they wanted to. As you can see, there's plenty of logs and branches and limbs of the oaks laying around. There's another well-established oak laying here. Another beautiful tree that probably ends up as furniture somewhere. Oak furniture land, perhaps. I'm now walking up the east side of the pond. A few more oaks cut down here and there. Suffolk Wildlife Trust could have thinned this area out by removing a lot of the less important species of trees and left the oaks standing. Why they didn't do that, we'll never know. As they have stated, they do not want the general public knowing about what they're doing in this woodland because of objections. They should be called the Secret Wildlife Trust. We're now moving away from the cleared area and going up to the coppiced area. 34 oaks altogether have been cut out of this wood. Can't believe what they've done here. The area coming into now is the coppiced area, and I can't understand why they didn't sacrifice some of this coppiced area. There is far less understory in this coppiced area than there was in the area where they cut the oaks down. There was far more understory. According to Will Cranston, West Suffolk Reserve Site Manager, it's due to the certain large trees within the woodland that we are losing the understory as it has become shaded over time. This has a negative impact on dormouse numbers within the nature reserve as they depend on thick understory to move, feed and hibernate in the wood. We made the decision to thin out some of the larger oak trees to rejuvenate the hazel and scrub layers, as well as undertaking ongoing coppicing works essential for dormouse survival. Decision has been made based on scientific evidence and undertaken over several years of monitoring and on other similar practices in our ancient woodlands. It is commonplace to undertake this work within ancient woodlands up and down the country to safeguard the presence of species, dormouse, nightingale, and numerous butterfly, that are only restricted to such areas. Not a lot of undergrowth in these areas of Copperson. I don't see how they're going to benefit any wildlife. This shows the clearing of the oaks was not justifiable. Here's another area where a couple of oaks have been cut down, and it's quite clear to see there's plenty of understory where these oaks have been chopped out. Plenty of light as well. As you can see in this area where these two oaks were cut down along the ride, there's plenty of undergrowth, understory, whatever you want to call it, in this area. Why these were cut out is questionable again. Now getting down to the area which is the main entrance area, where there's a final oak in this journey that has been cut down. And as you can see again, there is absolutely plenty of light and understory in this area. I've walked round this wood for years, and this is the worst destruction of perfectly good oak trees that I've ever seen. Suffolk Wildlife Trust should be ashamed of what they've done in this woodland. They do not publicise the management plan before, during or after this destruction has been carried out. What an inexcusable clandestine approach. Here are some images of some of the oaks that have been cut down, roughly about 50% of them. And RIP, poor old English oak.